Pretty one, take one.
Must be satisfied. I know what you're thinking, because I've been where you are.
That's enough.
Leave it.
And it's possible
Leave
to
it.
imagine.
Cut. Leave it!
But I have proof, and tonight I'm going to show you something. Make you believe.
Holy shit.
Everybody, welcome to another episode of Cinema Villains. I am your host, Shaggy Black. Alongside me is my tag team partner, Mr. Silver Bullet himself, Jose.
Hey, that's pretty good. But
Yeah.
I'm not drinking Coors.
You're not.
Okay, good.
I was almost going to say, don't call me Silver Bullet.
Yeah.
But, I'll say Mr. Silver Bullet because this is what as coincides to what we're covering.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, man. Tonight, actually, if you, honestly, if you subscribed, thank you for subscribing in the first place. We definitely appreciate you guys. Also, before we jump into this episode, I want to give a shout out to one of my friends here, Mr. Average Joe Art.
Average Joe.
Yeah.
Average Joe is here.
Okay, I think he'll probably appreciate that, but I'm not sure. So
Drawing us cool shit whenever there's trouble.
I want to kind of let you keep going, but we don't have a lot of time.
Mailing us
Okay, now I'm stopping you.
prints through the air.
No,
Average Joe is there.
You're ruining it. Stop. Anyway, folks, a buddy of mine at Average Joe, you can find him on Instagram and on Twitter. He has done our new design, which will be up shortly.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and see that. Recently, most of us, it is me depicted as Freddy Krueger. And Jose, who are you?
I am a guy named Simon Phoenix. We'll get to that eventually.
Yeah,
we'll get to that eventually.
Demolition Man. We definitely love the art, and obviously in the spirit of Halloween, we wanted to kind of dress up here, and that was one of the things and he nailed it.
It was fucking great.
I always appreciate Joe and his art. You can always, if he ever has commission spots open, because I know he is a busy man, you can always catch him and DM him, contact him, and get your artwork done. We appreciate you, and that's one bit of house cleaning that I wanted to take care of, Jose, before we dive right into the episode.
All right, yeah, there we go.
Other than that, my man, how have you been?
I've been good. How have you been?
Hairy.
You been hairy?
Yes.
Feeling beastie
Yes.
lately?
Yes. I feel like I need to transform.
Transform?
Yeah, this is a horrible ploy to say that we're actually covering the Howling, directed by Joe Dante.
Shout out to Joe Dante.
This movie came out in 1981. So actually, man, this is one of my favorite
werewolf
movies. Yeah, man. I know a lot of people like American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
But I have been a fan of this movie a little bit more, only because of how I like the transformation. It was just grimy, And
yeah.
And one thing I'll always say about this too is, people, when you're watching werewolf movies, mostly some of these people don't like to transform into werewolves. You cannot say that about this movie.
Oh no, they were more than happy.
Yeah, they were. That's the life they chose.
They were like, "Oh yeah, it's time, baby," and just wolf change.
Yeah, that was the one thing that they wanted to do, and it was new to me at the time. Now, granted, there have been other movies out depicting that. Yeah. There's more of a werewolf type of community, and they're more than happy to turn into them. But this one was for me one of the first of its kind to see. I've been used to seeing the people who transform suffer and turning into these people.
Yeah, because they don't want to transform.
Turning into
lycanthrope.
Thank you, sir. You are a wealth of knowledge.
Yes, I am. I think
yes, and annoyance.
Debatable.
Okay, fair
That's
enough.
debatable.
Fair enough. So, but yeah, The Howling is the movie that we're covering tonight, and obviously the villains in this movie is pretty much we focus on Eddie and Marcia Quist. Yeah,
Quist.
these obviously we go down the casting list. You have Miss Dee Wallace as Karen White, Patrick McEnany as Dr. George Wagner, Dennis Dugan as Chris Halloran,
Dum Dugan.
Elizabeth Brooks as Marcia Quist, Belinda Belinsky as Terry Fisher, Robert Picardo as Eddie Quist,
Hey.
who has a really good fucking makeup job.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
Because I didn't recognize him.
Yeah, he was from what Star Trek was he from?
Voyager. I was like, wait, the asshole from Star Trek Voyager
Yeah,
was the
dude,
main bad guy.
Yeah, I didn't notice that
I
was
didn't
him
know either. I was
until
like,
I
holy
kind of was
shit.
like, yo, that is some really good fucking like I mean, granted this movie is like over 30 years old, but
Right, yeah.
and
that
but
too.
the makeup in that still
Right.
was fantastic. You got Christopher Stone as Bill Neal. You also have John Carradine as Erie Kenton, Dick Miller as Walter Paisley.
Shout out to Dick Miller.
Yes, sir.
You've seen
Best
that guy
name-
and everything.
Best name in the business. Kevin McCarthy as Fred Francis. Slim Pickens as Sam Newfield, and Margie Impert as Donna.
There you go. Oh, Donna.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm almost
Donna.
afraid to keep talking because you're gonna make a song to everything.
Hey, there's music to everything, man. Music is everywhere, bro. Woof. How?
No,
No?
no,
Oh, okay.
please.
Okay.
Fucking embarrassing.
I'm sorry.
Always.
Yes.
Well, and obviously, this movie. What was give me a little bit of background in this. When did you actually see this movie?
Shit, I've seen this movie a long ass time ago. Like, this is the first time I watched this movie in like a fucking good minute. I have not seen this in a while.
You know what? To be fair, the last time I seen The Howling, I was drunk on a couch. I was drunk on a couch watching. I was just telling you this. Watching. This movie came on El Rey Network.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, obviously without the sex scenes.
Yeah, that's true.
But actually, wait. Did it have the?
No.
it didn't. It just had them. It did have the cartoon wolf.
Yeah.
I do know that. But I did watch it on El Rey.
No 80s bush for you.
No, sir. None at all. Abundance in this movie. But no, it is I saw this movie drunkenly on the couch, man, and I was like, man, I forgot how good this
I'm
movie
sure
was.
glad you elaborated that because you're
Yes.
like, yeah, I saw this drunk on the couch. I'm like, so
I was
Tuesday.
hammered. No,
Like,
not
well-
Tuesday, man. Not Tuesday. Shag don't drink on the weekdays. Weekends though. Now I'm pretty sure this was either a Friday night or Saturday. It's probably a Friday night because I would get drunk and watch Shudder.
Yeah.
And
there
then
you go.
watch it on even when Joe Bob was over, and then I'd flick it over to and just have El Rey. But I really enjoy this movie only because it was just like I said before, it's grimy as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
It has like one part hippie nature, one part like lycanthropy,
Yeah.
lycanthropy
Tropy?
with a Y, lycanthrope with a Y. I guess
There you go, yeah.
it's words, big words.
That's right. Big words. Ooh.
But it's also got that dash of like, just ew. You ever just
Yeah.
look at a movie and just go ew? Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Like, this is a dirty ass movie.
Yeah, man. Like, it even starts out dirty.
Yeah, no, really. They're going through the red light district.
Why? Why must you do these things?
Because it's fun. ASMR. Another
No.
boner. Another boner. Somebody's
God,
got another boner.
no, stop.
You're welcome, folks. 5 stars for the boners.
Oh my God, I want to report you, but I don't know who to report you to. But yeah, this movie was always it was a different werewolf movie.
Yeah, no,
It was
because
way different.
I'm right. Joe Dante was trying to not make it seem obvious it was a werewolf movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you definitely have it. I mean, it's really fucking hard to do that because
The
called The fucking
movie's
Howling?
called Howling, yeah.
so it's gonna have to do with some kind of dog or something.
Right, yeah.
But I do remember that he was trying not to make this your average werewolf movie to the point to where I know one of the posters was supposed to have the wolf face popping
Yeah,
through the tears
Yeah.
in the poster, and he's like, "Nah, let's not do that. Let's put her face, the woman screaming in the
I
background."
think it was a normal poster, but England used it anyway.
Yeah, England. I know it wasn't used in America, and it was used outside of America.
In America, we got that iconic. You see the face.
Yeah, you see the face,
slit.
and you don't see anything else. But that was, I mean, that's one. And you want to talk about box art? That's actually one of the box arts that spoke to me.
Yeah, that's iconic. I always remember that too.
That was like really. This actually made me. This movie actually made me appreciate movie box art a lot more.
Yeah, no,
Like especially horror movie box art. Like
absolutely.
Seeing this in a Blockbuster and stuff.
Yep.
Now when I saw this, I didn't see this movie as a kid, mind you, but I did see the box art, and it was one of the things that stuck out to me because it was just like, wow, what the fuck, man? That's creepy. Like, what is happening to her? Like, I wanted to watch this. I mean, it's not like it was Chopping Mall.
Yeah.
But you know, like in a sense of like that's okay, that's cool, but you know, whatever. But this was in a sense of like you don't know what was going on, but you kind of had an idea, so I wanted to watch this. Like, and it's still one of my favorite movies because of that. And it's mostly because of like I said, not because it's gritty and grimy, but mostly because of the fucking box art, man. I am a sucker for dope ass art.
Yeah. No, yeah, an 80s horror box art is the GOAT. Like, that shit is amazing.
Pretty much. Like it's one of the better box arts like in 80s horror.
Yeah,
like,
it's iconic.
I can definitely say that.
Yeah, like if you were to show me that art without the words, I'm like, oh, that's Howling all day. Yeah, easy.
So where would you put this in your top werewolf movies?
Ooh, shit. Well, it's top 5 easily.
Okay, so in your top 5?
Yeah.
You don't have to give me a where in your top 5.
It is in the
fact
top
that you
5.
have 5 says enough.
Yeah.
But like I know this wouldn't be one for you.
No.
I know this wouldn't be one for you.
No,
I know you, and this would not be one.
No. Number 1.
This would probably be my
number 1 belongs to another movie that happened to come out the same year.
Yeah. 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 I mean, well, hell, let's talk about it real quick before we dive into the movie. Go ahead, give me your 5.
Oh shit! Well, number 1, American Werewolf in London. Obviously, yeah. And then in no particular order, because I do not know how to rank them.
Okay.
This one, The Howling. Remember Wolf with Jack Nicholson?
Yes,
that
dude.
One? Yes.
Yes. That movie came on like fucking HBO like all the fucking time.
I remember that movie. It's pretty weird. It's like a weird modern take on the werewolf.
Yeah, it was. It was kind of like. It was definitely weird.
You get to see Jack Nicholson losing his shit.
Yeah,
basically. So
like,
that's
at
worth
that
the
time
price.
he was really good at losing his shit.
Yeah, that was worth the price of admission right there. What was it? 3. The original Wolfman, obviously, and well, shit, I don't know. Maybe top 4. I can't think of a 5th one at the top of my head right now.
You know what would have been in my top 5, and I know it's not a good movie. Universal Pictures, The Wolfman. Not the old school one, but the one with Anthony Hopkins and Benicio.
Oh yes. Okay, I remember what you're talking about now. Yeah.
Yeah, I fucking love that movie. It's not good.
Right. Ooh, Dog Soldiers. That's a pretty good one too.
Dog Soldiers does
that is slap. Werewolf. Yeah, that one slap. That might be up there.
Slap.
I have to revisit it. I ain't seen it in a good minute.
You want me to give you my? I think I'll give you my top 5.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm putting Howling at 1. American Werewolf 2.
Yeah.
Jesus. Wolf, the Universal Pictures Wolfman, the newer one that I just said. OG Wolfman. Ginger Snaps.
Oh shit! How did I forget about Ginger? Oh, that's right. Oh, I can't believe I forgot about that movie.
Yeah, Ginger Snaps.
That is Ginger Snaps.
Yeah.
Slaps. So Ginger slaps.
Hey, there you go.
But yeah,
but like Ginger Snaps actually, man, that was a whole nother thing that we may venture down the road.
Yeah,
eventually.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's spooky season, so we get to talk about all the things that go bump in the night, or in particular, what goes bump in my living room. That isn't me.
Oh.
Yeah. None of that's happening.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
I don't know either. What about Teen Wolf, bro? No,
oh my God. That's technically a werewolf movie,
but it's not horror, I guess.
It's not horror.
A scary werewolf movie. Yeah.
I mean, you can definitely put it up
right.
there as
It's like one of those movie asterisk. It's like, well, look, it's technically a werewolf.
So we should have specified. We should have specified
just
werewolf
scary horror. Yeah. Because
Teen
Wolf is like, hey guys, what about me? Like Michael J. Fox, get out of here.
Yeah,
man.
Teen Wolf is probably better than Wolfman.
Yeah.
Like not OG Wolfman.
Right.
But just better than that the remake Wolfman.
Right,
so I'm just like, what's that? 2008 that movie came out, I think.
I can't remember.
I can't remember. I own
Benicio and
Anthony fucking Hopkins.
Hugo Weaving's punk asses in it.
Yeah, just they fucking Anthony Hopkins ate that fucking screen up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was pretty fucking like this movie is almost kind of terrifying too.
Yeah.
Talking about the Howling again. This movie is actually pretty fucking scary, man. Like when it gets to the point, it gets to the fucking point. Like it builds up the whole way, but you know, it takes its sweet time, and it's just one of those movies that's just so visceral. And obviously, we're going to talk about it.
Right.
So actually, let's not keep everything waiting. Let's get into that good old synopsis.
Yes, let's get into it. You know, I forgot about Silver Bullet with Gary Busey's crazy ass.
Dude, I'm not fucking. This is not 48 hours. We're not.
Hey,
we're not gonna,
take a drink.
We're definitely. Dude, we're definitely covering those.
Alrighty, in the synopsis for The Howling from 1981, directed by Joe Dante. After a bizarre and nearly deadly encounter with a serial killer, a television newswoman is sent to a remote mountain resort whose residents may not be what they seem.
Yeah, that was some creepy cult shit.
Yep.
I mean, that's pretty much. It's kind of what this. So when this movie starts, obviously, we get Karen, who is a she's in the she's LA's she's part of the LA's, I think, Channel 5 news.
Channel 5 or Channel 6? I think it's Channel 6. Whatever.
She's part of a news team, and the movie starts off with she's pretty much set up to bust the sting. There's been some brutal murders been going around in the city, and the person that they think that is doing it has been contacting her.
Eddie the Mutilator.
Yeah, call him. There's like that. Yeah, they've been thinking. So they think Eddie is the one that's been contacting Karen. Comes up and you know she's like, okay, she agreed to do this so they can help capture him.
Yeah,
and you know, so it's first off, like I said, this movie's gritty and grimy. You see her walking down the seedy streets of LA in the 80s, and it is pretty much just nothing but porn.
Yeah, the porn stores everywhere. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this movie probably has more breasts than I've ever seen.
Yeah. In
a werewolf movie. I'm not gonna say horror movie because Jason movies do exist.
Yes.
But
shout out to Jason X.
Oh my God. Anyway, this you will not take me, and I will not. No. Let me recollect myself.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, no. So you see her walking down the street, and she's actually trying to walk to where Eddie tells her to walk, and he only leaves signals by these little smiley face stickers.
Yeah, he got little smiley face stickers.
Yeah. So she
which random fact. That's in Gremlins, because Joe Dante directed Gremlins.
Oh, nice.
Like this movie, I guess Spielberg saw it. He's like, oh, that's pretty cool. I want this guy to direct the Gremlins movie.
That's dope.
It had stickers in Gremlins as like an Easter egg.
Little fun Easter egg.
Yep.
But yeah, he gets her to come up to a what we like to call a decades old relic, the payphone.
Oh yeah.
It's like for the kids younger than that, these were phones that you can actually walk in. These are actually not just a payphone. She would walk into an actual booth.
Yeah, it's a phone booth. Yeah, that shit don't exist. Does that exist anymore?
No, they are now bathrooms.
Oh wow!
If they haven't been removed.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So but yeah, she walks into the phone booth and she's waiting for Eddie to call, and she is probably wearing one of the worst wires I have ever seen in a while. No. These police officers are like, they have her tapped because they want to catch the guy, and it's fading in and out. Like she's like, "Can you guys hear me?" And it's like fading in and out, and they're sitting here going like, "Yeah, I can't get a word she's saying. Like I'm hearing him." And he's like,
"Damn, much static." Yeah,
they had too much static from the neon lights, and it's. I mean, hey man. What radio shit are you using where neon's like, fucking with it? I mean, like, I'm not going to say it can't exist, but figure that shit the fuck out.
Yeah, it's like, come on, guys. Really?
Figure that out.
This is what we're working with.
You knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
So yet, you figure this out.
Crazy-ass serial killer. You're going to send her in with some weak-ass wires.
Yeah, weak-ass wires, bro. Like, at all. Like, you just say, hey, man, you might as well just cover it up.
Not even give her a gun. Like, no. Give her a gun at least just in case, too.
Dude,
like,
just exactly. Nothing to protect herself. Yeah. She was out there. She might as well have been naked.
Right.
Because that's exactly what was going on. She couldn't do shit to defend herself.
Right.
It was bad. It was really bad. But, as you see, she actually steps into the phone. She steps into the phone booth, and he actually calls. Obviously, the police can't fucking hear it. They can hear some of it, but they can't hear all of it. So we pretty much go in, and she finds out where she's going, and then Eddie tells her to go to, I believe, a movie. It's not a movie studio, but it's like
one of those.
it's a porn shop with a movie set and like with movie showing in the
Yeah,
back.
and you go in, you put your money in, you can beat off real quick the scene.
Yeah, if you ever
that's
been
the whole point of
if
that.
you ever been into one of those like mom and pop movie shops,
Yeah.
all of them had it. Like you had that seedy back room that only said adults only, and that's where they walked off it, and that's pretty much what that was.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely what that was. Mm-hmm. That's definitely what that was.
Me and Shaq talking about like ain't no way in hell that shit's sanitized. Like,
No,
like in
none of that.
today's like oh my god.
Today's standard, bruh, if I'm going into that bitch, dog, I am like wearing a hazmat suit.
Yeah, it's like oh no,
There's Rona everywhere. That bitch is
Rona and nut just everywhere.
like in the fucking air, just like sitting there, dude. Imagine you walk into that shit. You walk into one of the fucking, like, put yourself in her shoes.
Fuck that. Dog.
You have
God
probably
damn.
never been in no place like this
No,
before,
easily.
and you walk right in. I'm gonna tell you, in this place, you can feel the shame
Oh yeah.
in the atmosphere because as soon as she walks in, everybody else,
They're
all
like,
the dudes
"Oh,
see her and they
no."
walk smooth out.
Yep.
Like I can't look at my my photos of gigantic asses without being judged.
Exactly. Like
So
nope.
it's like yo, like she walked in and she was walking in and had the look of kink shaming. That's just exactly what was going. That's what it felt like. But
It's like she might as well have the Jesus is watching sign.
yes, exactly.
Like,
But
shit.
she walked in and she just pretty much did that, and she walked into the actual movie to what she was said she's supposed to get in, like where Eddie told her to go. Obviously the damn wire dies, so they don't.
yeah,
hear
that shit died like a long time ago.
Meanwhile, we have Bill, her husband, actually was sitting there with them, and he's like, "What kind of operation are you running where my wife is covered in wires, but you fuckers can't hear her?" So he's freaking out, and they sent out cops to go find her. So they're just beat cops. So if they see anything weird, they're gonna just see all types of shit, and they're just like, "Hey man, we're just gonna be there."
Yeah.
But man, so we get probably our first intense scene in this movie. Eddie actually walks up behind her, sits her down, and has his hands over her shoulder.
Yeah.
You never see Eddie's face.
Nope.
That's one thing I loved about this movie. You never saw his face until later on, but you saw glimpses of him. You just couldn't tell who he was.
Yeah.
And then, but Eddie is sitting there pretty much waxing poetic
Yeah.
to Karen, and Karen is like beyond freaked out. But she's trying to keep her composure, and she's trying her hardest. And Eddie pretty much was like, what I can only assume he's like, "You want to see my bunkai?" See, yeah, you can't be the only person with fucking
that was pretty good. That was
weed
pretty good.
shit. But
That was pretty
no,
good.
he literally it feels like it's funny because it's happening in a porno shop. It's like he's exposing himself, but not the way you would think.
Right. Exactly.
He's literally exposing himself because he turns into. He's exposing the wolf side of him. So, and you don't see the wolf. You don't actually see the wolf.
No,
you actually
no.
just see like
The silhouette.
The silhouette in the back, and you see the silhouette in the back, and she is fucking terrified.
Yeah,
she
she
gets
starts
traumatized,
yelling.
man.
Yeah,
Like
that fucks her up.
It fucks her up. Like she's like, "Oh my god!" Like just like, "What the fuck is that?" Like you were better off showing me your dick at this point because I'm like not feeling whatever I'm seeing at this moment.
Yeah.
Like no. What the fuck is that? Like it's just bad. She's screaming. Obviously the cops show up and they see him and they put 2 slugs in him.
Yeah. Oh no, that dude unloads the clip. Basically, the revolver. I guess it was a fucking.
He fucking takes his fucking pistol and fucking just unloads the clip into him.
Yeah.
And then he's dead.
Yeah.
Or you might assume.
You would assume he's dead because he is riddled with bullets.
Yep. Just like getting into that, it's just so she's trauma. So she's left on the ground crying, just crying and just trying to recollect herself. Obviously, she's taking some time to kind of get over it. They actually try to get her to come back to the news.
Yeah.
After the fact. Now, what type of shit do you have to be? What kind of shitty human being do you have to be when this person goes through that? to try to get them to come back and do their job.
Oh, I'm glad you asked. A very shitty type of person. 'Cause
Yes.
goddamn, that news editor or
Yes.
whatever the fuck he was, Perry White, essentially, was just a fucking super dick.
Bro, homie was like racist,
Sexist?
sexist, and a bigot all in one.
Yes, it's like, what ist can I add on the end of the word? That's
Yeah. Like, man, it was just brutal. But she comes up, they sit her down. She can't do the news because all she can think about is seeing old boy's face.
Yeah.
So she is freaked out. Man, and just super traumatized to the point to where she's with her husband and they can't have sex. Like,
Yeah,
it's,
'cause,
he fucking is in the mood and she's obviously not feeling it because the first thing she think of is the porno scene that she was seeing.
She tried, because he put on like a snuff, like back in the little, what is it, the porn shop or whatever. He put on like a snuff film, like a rape porn.
Yeah,
he had on in the background showing her.
It was rapey as fuck.
Yeah, cause he's like, look at
Like,
this.
there was
He's like, I can show you something better than this, or something like that. And I can't remember what he
There was no
said.
consent in that movie.
Yeah,
or at least in that, it was just pretty. It was pretty brutal.
Mm-hmm.
But so nothing's happening. The husband is like, fuck. You see the blue balls in his face.
Yeah.
But you also understand, like, it sucks, man. Your wife's traumatized. You need to be there for her. But, like, you can't. You
just
got
go to the restroom, wipe on out, bro.
Yeah, just do what you got to do, man. It's going to be like this for a minute. Just relax. So what we failed to mention was that Karen also has been interviewing a doctor, which is Dr. George Wagner. And Dr. George Wagner is pretty much into the human mind and everything, and saying like there's animalistic natures in anything, which is a fucking red flag throughout everything. But he sits there and just like he says like, hey, I have a place that you and your husband can come out. You just come out there and y'all can recollect and find yourselves and stuff, and try to make it stuff work. Maybe you can come to us and you can help get over your trauma. Yeah. And it's just that's one thing she offers him. Meanwhile, the police are looking. I was like, the police, actually not just the police, but just I believe it's Chris.
What were they? They were like news reporters too.
They were news reporters
okay,
and Karen's friends. Like Chris. Yeah. So Chris and Terry, who were Karen's friends. Also, I think Chris was one of the head broadcasters. Yeah. Of studio execs who were in the thing with them, and they are with the police to go look at Eddie's home. They get to Eddie's home and it's fucking incel paradise.
Yeah.
Nothing but werewolf pictures.
Just random, like, I guess clips of them, like newspaper clippings of the murders.
Clips of his murders. Yeah. Clips of what I can only assume is the dirtiest of dirty of porn. Yeah. On the wall, and drawings of how a werewolf looks. An island, not an island, but like a lake, like a cove or something, like a beachfront or a cove, and then you also see a picture of Karen, and it was like fucking bingo. There we go. This is our guy. So and obviously he's dead at this point. So. Yeah, and it was weird. It was just like kind of story development because you get to see how fucked up this guy was. So they take a few. So Chris and Terry take a few of the pictures to bring it back to the doctor. Meanwhile, you see Karen and her husband Bill heading up to the colony, which is ran by Dr. George.
Yeah, and that's literally what it's called, right?
It's a colony.
It's literally the colony.
I mean, that's another fucking red flag. Just literally count the red flags in this shit.
Like,
I mean, off rip. I mean, and then, they pretty much get to the colony, and that's when they meet the residents at the colony, and then who they also meet is Martha.
Yes.
Martha, she was a peculiar one. She think of a hornier Elvira.
Yeah, I guess.
Hippie Elvira.
Not as cool.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Nah, not at all.
Yeah.
You're right. So she, how can I use the word to describe her? How was she described? Jose?
She is what we call a nymphomaniac.
Yeah.
So she was horny.
Yeah. Like, it's like what? So.
Like the minute she sees Karen's husband, she's like, you.
Tonight.
Yeah.
You.
Basically.
Yeah, it was, she stared at him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty much,
I fucked
it
that
was
man's
time.
brains out.
Yeah,
She's
it
like,
was.
Yeah,
it's time.
Mm-hmm.
It's time, Daddy. And Bill's pretty much a good husband up until this point.
Yeah.
Like he's been like minding his business. He's like, yeah, I'm here for my wife, and I'm just trying to make sure she's fine. She's here for trauma. Bill walks around and sees everybody, and it's like it's on the cove. They're on, like having a little campfire and whatnot. You got like this old, but the camera kind of focuses in on one of the old men that's there, which was Erie.
yeah.
Erie is sitting there trying to, just
Keep his composure.
yeah, he's trying to keep his composure and shit.
Yeah.
And now that I think about it, that was actually kind of important in a sense, because that goes back. This comes back to a storyline, and but he is trying to keep his composure. Meanwhile, Martha is trying to seduce the pants off of Bill, like literally and figuratively.
Yes.
But he like looks at her. They exchange barbs. And he's like, yeah, I shouldn't be around you. I'm going to walk this way now. And he avoids her. And, that was one. You kind of get your introduction to Martha. And Martha definitely has, outside of her being uncontrollably horny, like her horny, she can't contain her horny levels. She also is an alpha.
Yes.
Like she's not even, I can't say an alpha male, but she's an alpha female, like off rip. Like she fucking controls all of that. And it was and it's crazy to me because of how she was performing, like acting, you could see like resting bitch face.
Yes.
Until like certain men that she liked came around. That was some type of power that no one else had.
Yeah.
And they followed her suit. But obviously, you walk around and you're walking around and you're like they're kind of just getting introduced to each other. Martha is kind of like throws like a tivy, and that's when you find out the doctor's like, yeah, she's your they say, yeah, she's a nymphomaniac, but she has some other stuff about her.
She's connected with her nature side or some shit like that.
Connected with which all types of fucking plot points are being dropped.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. So it's really dope to see. What else? Pretty much, things started happening. Start weird things. Like you're hearing wolf howling and everything. And like this movie, I tell you, like obviously we talk about the villains in the movie. What do you think about Martha at this point? Or what do you think about Eddie?
Well, Eddie, we really hadn't gotten much of Eddie yet because he was just that one scene in the beginning. And, but he seemed, I guess, not terrifying might be a good word because she's traumatized.
Yeah.
She's fucked.
Yeah.
Like he just went in and mind fucked her one good time and she's just like, God damn.
I wish we had more screen time of him. And then, but obviously when that kind of switches over when you see Martha.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of like, okay, cool, like we're kind of getting that, but something's up. Something's fucking up.
Yeah.
But pretty much weird shit starts happening at the colony. Karen starts hearing like weird wolf noises at night.
Yeah.
She's like that's, and even her husband Bill's like, that just could be dogs, and they're like, that doesn't sound like a dog I've ever heard.
Right.
And then obviously for while they're focusing on that, we're pretty much getting you go back to Chris and Terry, and Chris and Terry are
at that point, are they trying to find the body? Do they go to the morgue at that point?
Yeah, they go to the morgue.
Yeah.
They're at the morgue looking to get to see Eddie's body for the just a report for the news and everything, just that kind of.
Because they want to do like a documentary, a special on like the mind of this killer.
Yeah, the mind of the obviously mind of the killer type of deal. They get to the morgue, and shout out to morgue people in I forgot the actual term for the people.
Morticians?
Morticians?
Yeah.
That's what. Okay, I don't know why I think of morticians working in an actual church or something that.
Shit! Wait.
Yeah. But I'll just say
they're both morticians, ain't it?
We have technology to look this up, and I can filibuster while you do it.
Okay, yeah, filibuster.
But yeah, I appreciate people like that, especially in movies, because these people have seen it all. They're not traumatized by shit.
No.
Like, I appreciate any movie. If you go back and you look at a movie that has any type of like a mortician, until we find the proper term, in the you go back and look at those morticians in these movies, and the fucking ones. My favorite will always be the one that's eating a sandwich over like a dead corpse, and the room's probably smelling like fucking death, shit, and formaldehyde, and yet they're just like, they're fucking unbothered. And judging by your look in your face,
a diner, Diner, is a morgue worker responsible for handling, moving, and cleaning the corpse.
Okay.
At some institutions, diners perform the entire dissection at autopsy.
Huh. Look at us. Learning shit.
So what the hell's a mortician?
The mortician's the dudes that
at
work
the church.
Yes, like at the funeral homes.
I'm fucking.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't I knew they weren't morticians.
That shit fucked me up.
I knew they weren't morticians. I knew they were called something else because I know that was funeral homes. But I know, like, I'm not gonna call them morgue workers. Like,
okay, yeah, a mortician is like the funeral director, also known as the undertakers.
Okay, fair enough. I was gonna do it, but you did it, so okay. I don't feel mad. But yeah, no. Shout out to the diners. Diners?
It didn't give me a pronunciation.
Okay.
It says diner.
Shouts out to them for like being unfazed by anything. Like they could literally, like, dude, I just see this. They're one of those kind of people that's like, man, I just seen this dude get hit by a bus yesterday, and now I gotta cut up his fucking body. I do not care what you have going on.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, diner.
Yeah. But yeah, he shows them. So they're in there and they're trying to show him the body, and the body is missing. Yeah. And by missing, there is some big ass claw marks and
like you see someone banged their way out of there.
Yeah, they got out of there real quick. Like they got out of there real quick. It was fucking like they're like, what is going on here? It's like dead men can't walk. And that's when they start doing some research on the occult and like
because a lot of those drawings in his room were like werewolfish creatures, wolf-like people creatures. Yeah.
And that's one thing I do like about the movie is like they wanted to educate themselves.
Yeah. And
that helped them in the long run.
Yeah, because they were like, okay, this dude clearly was obsessed with werewolves and shit like that. Well, let's read up on werewolves to see what we can do.
Yeah. And I mean, and I know we review the villains in this movie. We try to in our show. We always like to review the villains in this, but it's crazy because the villains, our particular villains, you don't really get a lot of sense yet until like towards the later half of the movie. Because what this movie, like we said, what it does is it makes you believe that this shit ain't going on until it's too late.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, is this just some poor girl that got traumatized that bad?
Yeah, like, man, what the fuck? Like, they are literally trying to figure out what the hell did she see at the colony because they're trying to figure out, like, what did you see? They're asking her, and she's trying to remember what it was. Yeah. But the funny thing is, all you see is the snuff film. You see, like,
his silhouette. You never see his face.
You never see the face. It's just the silhouette and everything else. And it's crazy. And she's just trying like, I see nothing. I saw nothing. And like that was at a session when she was in the colony.
Yeah, so they tried to have a little therapy session for her.
I mean, that is that's what they try to do, try to help her get over her trauma. But other weird shit just keeps going on. That same night, you hear more howling and everything. Yeah. And then I believe it's like I know Karen and one of the other women happened to go with her, and they come to find out that motherfuckers are actually. It was Karen and Donna. Karen and Donna go investigate, and they see a mutilated cow.
Yes, like basically just a cow head, really.
Yeah, pretty much a cow head and not much left.
Yeah,
like it was like, hey, like just Like they had their Happy Meal and they just threw it on the ground. It was the rest of it. So Karen's like freaked out. So she calls the cops to come out, the resident cops to come out and do like a little search party, in which they do. I mean, it's not really anything crazy, but they do a little search party.
Yeah.
And her husband Bill joins in that search party, and they're going out like looking for shit, and they don't find anything. So the next morning they go hunting.
Bill shoots a bunny.
Yeah.
A big ass rabbit, goddamn.
That motherfucker is huge.
Yeah.
Like,
big Chungus.
Like big Chungus. I know where Chungus went.
Right.
Fucking Bill killed him.
Oh shit.
Fucking shout out to Big Chungus.
Right.
But Bill carries that. Bill has a rabbit, and he's kind of like doesn't know what to do with it because he's like, dude, I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat meat.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like I don't eat meat. And one of the guys sits there and says, "Hey,
TC Quist, by the way."
Yeah, TC Quist. Which you don't know he's a fucking Quist. That you just gave out.
Oh fuck, that's right.
Yeah, you just gave out something crazy. Look at you. Well, it's too late now. We didn't even give a fucking spoiler. We didn't even give a fucking spoiler warning for this.
That's all bad. Oops.
That's on ours.
Oops.
We got to get better.
Yeah,
I definitely wrote it down in the notes, and I definitely didn't read it. That's that's on me, guys. But yeah, so he takes the fucking rabbit to Martha to go cook.
Yeah, because he's like, oh, Martha can cook a rabbit real good.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah.
And I'm just like,
I don't eat meat though. He's like, well, it's a sin.
He's like, well, if you kill something, you don't eat it. That's a sin, there, buddy.
So if I shoot you and eat you, it's cool.
Wait, are you asking me or telling me?
Asking you.
I
don't know.
I need an adult.
Nah, I need an adult. Not yet.
He's like, I need an adult.
I am an adult.
Y'all heard that, man. If I go up missing, y'all know who did it. Real shit. But no, but yeah, so he goes in there and like, so Martha is preparing the rabbit, and next thing you know, he's like, so cool. Like Bill says something, and she's like, what did he say?
I can't remember. Fuck.
Oh no! He asked us like, how long does it take to cook? He's like, we'll worry about that later.
Oh yeah, she's like, oh yeah.
And the only thing that was cooking was her loins because Jesus Christ.
She's like, it's time for me to handle some more meat.
Yes, just she starts kissing, like they started making out, and Bill comes back to his senses and is like, bitch, get off me.
Bit her lip. She bit her lip right there. His lip, didn't she? I can't remember.
I think he fought. Like I want to say he fought back.
Okay.
Because he was like, nope, this is wrong. Because Bill wasn't like with that, none of that shit yet.
Yeah.
So he was like, nope, fuck it, nope, back off, bitch. And it's something enchanted. No. You're right. You. I'm sorry, I snapped into your mic.
No, you can.
Bill fought her off, and then I guess he's like, nope, get off me, bitch. I love my wife. And he fucking obviously goes back to Karen. And I don't think he fucking told anything to Karen. So he fucking, he goes back and, he goes back in and starts talking to Karen about some shit. But what happens after that, just you get a random cut of, like, Bill walking around, I believe, outside, getting attacked by a fucking werewolf.
Yeah. Werewolf just pounces on his ass.
Pounces him. Doesn't kill him.
No, just bites the fuck out of him.
Bites or scratches him?
Well, it might have been a scratch.
I think it was a bite or a scratch, but he fucking gets infected. Yeah. And then Bill obviously makes it back to Karen, and they take him over to the doc. And the doc gives that motherfucker the good old 80s treatment of 80 stabs in the fucking stomach.
Somebody Ray be like, hey, we can't be too safe. Just zoop, zoop, zoop.
Yep.
Ugh, fuck that.
Now I think about it, like, all things considered, do you really think he gave him rabies shots or sugar water?
He probably gave him sugar water.
Like, it's...
Well, what was a rabies shot going to do against a... That's
what I'm saying.
Yeah, so... He might have given him a rabies shot.
Fuck it, here you go. Like, we're gonna make this shit look real.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously, and, Bill's like, fuck, man. Ugh, Jesus. And then you cut to the scene that pretty much... it's weird because he's starting to change because obviously, plot point, he sits there and says, hey, I fucking love, like, hey, I like, I love my wife. Yeah, because at that point, he's like, I love my wife and I don't eat meat.
Yeah.
And then he's like, next thing you know.
Yeah, because her friend came, Karen.
You talking about Karen's friend?
Yeah, she came.
Terry.
Terry, there you go. She came and
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh shit, I forgot he's a vegetarian. I only bought like meat. My bad."
Yeah, he's like, no, I can eat anything when I'm hungry. And
Yeah,
I'm just
he's
sitting there
just-
going like, that also should have been another red flag.
Red
Going
flag.
like, my judging eyes would have been fucking closed at this point because I'm squinting so hard. Mm-hmm. Like, But, so, like, later, so obviously he's starting to turn, slowly but surely, and you get probably one of the worst scenes in this movie after the fact, because pretty much Bill hears more howling outside at night, and, like, he hears it, and then but then Karen fucking obviously is in the mood, and Bill's like, hey man, I'm not feeling that now. I just got stabbed in the fucking stomach like 80 times.
Yeah.
The fuck you want from me? Relax. And Karen's like, we're not in sync anymore. I'm like, well, yeah, because he probably technically is dead, so I don't know why you even... I mean, you literally just dodged a bullet here.
Yeah.
Like a figurative bullet, but you've literally just dodged one. And, but still, Bill hears more sounds outside. He goes outside, and who the fuck else is outside, Jose?
Fucking Marsha.
Martha.
No, it's Marsha, ain't it?
Marsha?
Is it Marsha?
You fucking confusing me, bruh.
I swear. Oh,
It's Marsha.
yeah, I'm like, what the hell?
I've been calling her Martha.
Have you really?
I think I have.
Do you have Batman on the brain?
I do.
Why did you say that name, Shaggy? Oh, like, why did you say that name?
No, but Marsha comes out, and she just gets
She takes it off.
just naked.
Yeah.
Just straight up nude.
Yep.
The only thing on her person is her hair, her necklace, and more hair.
Yes.
So, and Bill, who I thought was wearing clothes, and I didn't even see him take his
Well, no,
clothes
he had
off.
a robe. He had
a robe.
and that was
I didn't
it.
see that fucking robe.
That shit just came
I just
off.
blinked,
Like,
and
yeah.
it's just like just man ass right there, and I'm just like, oh, there we go. Put the kids to bed,
Yep.
and you get like one of the, like I said, it was one of the worst parts of the movie because you see the change, like you see changes start to happen during mid coitus to the point to where I'm asking myself, you know, it's like, at what point are they climaxing or are they turning into werewolves?
Now, I think the answer was yes.
That's the only answer at this point.
Yes.
Because, like, yes, that's
I'm like,
the
oh,
answer.
look, his old face. Oh, wait, no.
Wait,
He's turning into a wolf?
I guess obviously the actual howl would be the O.
Oh, yeah.
Now that I think about it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually right. 'Cause if
Yeah.
I was a wolf, that's how I'd let it out, baby. I mean, I'd let it out like that anyway, you know.
Oh, TMI.
The more you know.
Oh
Little
my
star.
god.
Anyway.
Oh my god. Okay.
No, but they fucking as wolves. They start
Yes.
turning into wolves
Dude.
as mid-fuck.
Dude, that's how you knew you was turned. He fucking starts eating meat and infidelity. That's exactly the two fucking things that makes you know you're turning into a fucking wolf at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see that, and then you also see, because of how the shit's animated, you see them turn into cartoon wolves.
Yeah, which Joe Dante said, hey, we ran out of money.
Oh my god!
It was budget issues. We were running out of money, so we had to do it.
You know how fucked up and broke you had to be at that point. So yeah, we gotta animate this shit.
Oh, this movie ran into budget problems. I'll get to it later. Yeah.
I fucking bet. It fucking you just see it like fucking animated. You're like, what the fuck is that? Like, it's a fucking cartoon.
Hey, there's
wolves
two little cartoon wolves banging.
banging, just like dog. That is
Wolves don't bang like that.
no, not at all. I mean, I wouldn't know.
There was no. Hey man, Animal Planet.
What? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But obviously, okay, so Bill is actually turned, and I'm skipping over some parts here, only because I want to say some of these parts, I'm not gonna say aren't relevant in the story, but some of this has to do with Terry. So Terry goes off on her own to just discover some stuff and talk to the doctor. But Terry's in the woods, and she starts hearing her fucking name.
It's like, come here, Terry.
Yeah, and in Horror 101, if you start hearing your name being whispered in the fucking anywhere, you need to get out of the place that you're in.
Immediately.
Like, don't fucking head towards the voice. Head away from the voice. So that way the voice is not getting louder.
Well, she's already paranoid because we forgot to mention her and wasn't her husband
Chris.
Chris go to like a library, like some type of
Oh
cult
yeah, we
library.
did. We did.
We meet Dick Miller as the head librarian person, and they're like just looking for stuff. Like, okay, he was into werewolf stuff and like maybe demology, and the dude says, "Oh, we get all type of crazy people here. We get Satanists, like
occultists,
blah 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 blah."
like this and that. And I could have swore there was a Michael Jackson joke in there, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like, yeah, we get all type of stuff, and then he's like, they say something. They're like, but it's not even a full moon. And he's like, psh, that's Hollywood stuff. A werewolf can turn into a werewolf whenever the fuck he wants.
That's the shit that I like about this movie, because it's like a werewolf can just do it whenever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Like,
he don't need a full moon.
No, fuck that. Like, just the full moon's not gonna do anything.
And he's like, you can only kill him with a silver bullet or fire. And that's it. You know, if you don't kill them like that, guess what? They come back.
Exactly.
And they can regenerate. It's kind of a pain in the ass.
Also, I like it in the fact that they say you only can kill him by silver bullet and fire, and I'm like, that's two of the cheapest fucking options you can do in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you're gonna either get killed by a bullet that we painted silver, or we can just kill you by fire.
Yeah.
No cutting off of heads, no nothing.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's
like, wow, do you believe in this? Fuck no, I just gotta sell you this book.
Yo, he was about his coins.
Yeah,
man.
exactly, he
Mans
was.
was about his coins.
And
really
he had
wanted this shit.
he had Chekhov's bullets.
Yep.
He was like, I got a box of silver bullets here. Someone ordered it, never picked it up.
They're just sitting here.
They're like, okay, that's weird.
That's
okay, yeah. They're like,
weird.
well, take these books and leave now.
Yeah, it's like, fuck it. That's the weird shit right there. And then next thing you know, obviously, yeah, that was on me fucking trying to leave that part out. But
then Terry's like called to a house, cabin in the
Terry's
woods.
called. Yeah. See, and that's another thing. Horror, or like also horror 101. Don't fucking head in the cabin in the woods by yourself. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, exactly.
She sits there and she fucking like scoping the place out. Like scoping the place out, has the like just walks into the shit, like walks into that abandoned cabin, looks at everything, and I think she sees more drawings.
Yes, the same type of drawings. Yep.
Yeah, she sees more drawings and more nudie magazine pictures.
Oh yeah.
At this point, she's like, "Hold up, I think Eddie's here." And she's getting stalked by a fucking werewolf at this point.
You just
and
hear.
This is like up until that sex scene. This is our first real depiction of a werewolf in this movie.
Yeah, it's the first time the reveal of the wolf.
The reveal of the wolf. And I'm gonna say this: these werewolves, I know they were costume based. I like their look.
Yeah, they weren't bad.
They were people.
Yeah.
They were like, I'm a fan of the werewolves that are people versus the ones that are just wolves.
The giant ass wolves.
Yeah, giant ass wolves running amok. But like, I'm a fan of like the people. I mean, I understand if they got to run and claw down and be like that, but I like the ones that stand up on their own and like being sentient.
Yeah. That's clearly what these wolves are.
Yeah, and they are like hunting. Like it's one at this point, but many more. Like one comes up and it's like they're hunting her and.
Like she manages to cut one arm off.
Yeah, she's running away from him, and like dude trying to bust through like the little wall that's between her and them, and he reaches out for her, and he cuts a fucking arm off. She cuts an arm off with a
like a hatchet.
Yeah, a little hatchet that she found, defending herself. She obviously white woman in peril runs through the
Well, you get that great practical effect with the wolf arm.
Yes,
back into a human arm.
Yes,
that was pretty cool.
That was a dope ass practical effect.
Yeah.
Thank you for keeping me honest there, because I definitely love that. It was another thing that it was just the hand was just bubbling.
Yeah, it was so weird looking. Like
and then came back to normal. And Terry's like, oh my god! She fucking
they've been
freaking out.
studying all this shit, so she knows. She knows what's up at that point.
Yeah, she knows, and she's like, yo, we got to get them and get the fuck up out of here. And then, but then she obviously runs to the woods and gets back to the doctor's office. And obviously she's using the phone. She's calling Chris. She's like, Chris, you got to get out here. They're werewolves. They're everywhere. They're here. And she's warning him, and Chris is listening going on. But obviously another fucking wolf shows up.
Yep.
Like was it right behind her? Or
because she's on the phone and she goes go to the doctor's files, and as she's going to the files, and that's when you find out TC is a quiz
Yeah,
type.
that's when you find out TC is a quiz.
And you find out he has a huge file on Eddie.
Yep.
With the same drawings they've been having and finding, and at that point, she's like, right as she was going to say, the wolf grabs the
Yep.
file from her hand.
It's like yoink.
It's like, you don't need to read this.
Yeah, where you're going, you're not.
So maybe
gonna
that
be able to
was
read.
Eddie? Because we're trying to figure out who was that wolf.
I want to say it was Eddie, only because he confirms that he was listening. Like, this is my favorite part. Like, I've been listening.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. You're right. Okay.
So like, and it was weird because he just like, hey, he fucking takes. So Terry gets like, I'm not even gonna say brutally murdered. She just gets
Like, she looks like she gets choked out, honestly.
she gets choked out. She gets bit for one.
Yeah, she gets bit, yeah.
But like, there's a chunk taken out of her, like a big ass like. Think of a cookie, and there's a big ass bite of the cookie.
Yeah.
But that is a neck,
Yeah. I want a cookie.
a neck and a shoulder.
Cookie.
It's okay, buddy.
No, but yeah.
But
She
it's
gets
like,
fucked up.
yeah, it's like she gets fucked up royally. Like she pretty much kind of gets killed off camera in a way.
Yeah, because she gets choked out, and then that's the last you see of her.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to Karen,
Yeah, Karen,
who's getting mad at her husband.
Karen sees
The claw marks.
the claw marks. Well, at this point, I'm just gonna say they're love wolf claw,
Yeah.
like wolf love claw marks. And she's like, and Bill sits there and says, she's like, where? It's like, why do you got those? How do you get those scratches on your back? He's like, must have had them through, like, must have
When I
got them
got
through.
attacked,
Like,
yeah.
she's like, they weren't there yesterday. And Bill's like, bitch.
Literally, he's all like, bitch, what do you expect?
Like,
huh?
you're paranoid.
Yeah, you're paranoid.
You're paranoid
Calm your
around
ass
this.
down.
Like, calm down. And I mean, they get into like a little lover squirrel. And the only thing I remember, other than unfortunately Karen getting hit,
Yeah.
was like she stares at you like a bitch in heat. And
That's what set him off, yeah.
Yep.
It's like,
And-
you banging that chick. I know you are. He's
Like-
like, girl, you crazy. What you talking about?
like, you got your mind.
Uh-huh.
Next thing you know, she's like she's been looking at you since we got here like a bitch in heat.
And then smack.
smack. And I'm just
He's
like,
like,
oh,
I'm sorry.
He's like, don't fucking touch me. And she gets up and she walks out. She's like, I'm gonna find Terry. I'm calling Chris. We're getting out of here. You
Now
can
you
do
can
whatever.
stay your ass here, yeah.
Like, you can do whatever. So and Bill's like, all right, whatever. And he like, you see the next scene. Actually, it's Chris trying to gather himself because he's like, Terry's in trouble. I need to go help her. He gets in and just loads up his car, but heads back to
The occult shop or whatever, yeah.
yeah, and just grabs the silver bullets,
Yeah.
throws money,
Throws money at him.
and
yeah.
just leaves. And he's like, "Hey man, those things are made out of straight up like those things
Those are real silver.
He's like, "That's those like, hey man, those bullets are real silver. I gotta go price these so I can find out what to properly charge you."
Yeah.
And he says, "Bill me."
He's like, fucking bill me, dude. Go whatever. And takes off.
Yeah, and then he heads towards the colony.
The colony, yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, Karen is in the doctor's office, but she's in that doctor's office where it's fucked up. She's like,
Yeah,
what's
shit's
going on
yeah,
here?
there's trash everywhere.
It was like trash everywhere.
sees
She's
the body.
She sees the body, and
Well,
there's
she
like
sees a body covered.
yeah, and then like she sees the blood on the phone, and then she's like, what the fuck is going on? And then what she realizes is she sees and hears Eddie. And this is the first time you actually see Eddie and his face.
Where Eddie pops up, don't he pop up? I mean, he like, she does the body. She sees her friend's body, and she's like, "Oh, no. The most casual. Your friend has just been brutally murdered."
Yes. Oh
What were
my
you gonna
god,
say? Yeah,
dude.
brutally murdered. She's like, well, damn.
She handled that really well. And what I mean by that is, you have literally just seen your friend's body fucking mutilated, and then at this point you see the body,
Yeah.
and you see a fucking chunk, like nothing
Just
but
out
like
of her
just
neck,
out of
yeah.
her fucking dead, and it's just like, god damn. She was like, oh my god, and she puts the cover back
And
on.
she's
her.
like, ooh, I'm sorry. And like, yeah.
she's like, well,
I was like, she took that awfully well.
like really well, to the point to where I'm like, what the fuck have you seen? Now, granted, you know what I was thinking that whole time too? I was like, maybe because she works for the news,
Maybe.
she's
but
seen some shit too. But like, this shit hits home.
I was about to say, yeah, that's your friend, though. If that was a random stranger,
Yeah.
I could maybe forgive you.
Yeah.
But she was just
that
like,
that was supposed to be your that was your homie, and you sitting
Yeah.
there going like, well, damn.
You were
It's
just like, well, that sucks. Cover you back up.
yeah, it's like, well, like that's like if I fucking see you, it's like, well, there go cinema villains.
Right? Put the cutting back.
Just put that motherfucker just
Exactly.
like, yo, just like that, just like if something happens to you, and I'm just like, well, fuck, all right, just cover the body and just keep
Yeah.
it moving. No emotion, But at this point, the only thing I will give her is she's just super traumatized at this point. But at the same time, she should have broken down.
Yeah, that should have broke her completely.
Yeah, that right there should have broke her. But then, obviously, that's when we see Eddie.
That's when Eddie pops up, yeah.
Like, you finally get to see Eddie, and then you confirm that it's Eddie. Because she's like, Eddie. It's like, yeah, hi, Karen. I finally get to see you. Since last, get time we meet again. And they fucking,
I like to give you a piece of my mind, which was improv.
Yeah.
Because he takes a bullet out of his brain. Or whatever. So he's like, I like to give you a piece of my mind.
The cool thing about this tour, too, because I'm going to spend some time on this scene, he fucking takes that bullet out of his head, but you definitely know it's like a fake.
It's like a fake forehead, I think.
It's a fake forehead,
but
but
the mouth is moving perfectly.
The mouth, the jaw is moving.
Yeah.
But the top, like from the forehead to the top lip, none of that's moving, but the forehead's bubbling and some stuff. And then, like, you see him take the bullet out, and I'm just like, the practical effects in this movie was fucking great. Not the thing great.
Well, it's funny you say not the thing great.
Okay.
Because effects artist on this, Rob Bottin. Dude who did the effects for the thing.
For the thing.
Yeah.
Like, you can see that the thing probably had a bigger budget.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. But this one, he made it work.
Yes.
He made it fucking work with the shit, man.
Yeah,
like,
because they had run out of money at that point.
Yeah.
Like that scene, that little doctor's office, that's literally Joe Dante's office. Because he's like, we have no money to film nowhere else, so just come to my office and we just got to set this shit up to make it look like a doctor's office.
Yep. I mean, realistically, that scene also worked out for him because it was the strongest scene. Because this is where you see the transformation.
Yes.
Like, and this is what gets super debatable every time. What transformation is better? The Howling.
Yes, this is the fight. This is the main fight that you can get on. Which transformation scene is better? The Howling or American Werewolf in London? I mean, if you want to just cheat, you can just say yes.
See, yeah, you can say yes, but I'm not going to see that. I want to actually take time. We're going to fucking discuss that real quick. Because me personally, I've always chose the Howling.
Yeah.
Because, again, I said it in the beginning when we started the show, it was, he did not struggle.
No.
He enjoyed this. And I think because he was a serial killer, at that point, like just at that point, Eddie was like, hey, I'm proud of who I am. And you're about to see me be who I am before I fucking kill you. I mean, he's not screaming fucking help me, and he's like, he's really feeling it. Now, a lot of this, now watching this back again, and remembering the American Werewolf in London, you see, obviously, the transformation happens a little bit smoother, I think, in American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
Versus this one, you have a few camera cuts. But you start seeing like everything else kind of grow out. I like seeing that stuff grow. I guess I like the sinisterness about it because of how evil that shit looks.
Yeah.
And how grimy that shit looks, because you know what's about to happen. Dude is like, yeah, nah, I'm about to turn into who I really am.
I think, I don't know. I think I'll give it to American Werewolf in London.
See, that's what I figured. That's why I figured you would go with, and I got no problem if you choose a side. Choose a side,
because they're both amazing effects.
They're both really
both
good.
Amazing. Yeah,
both really good, amazing, really good effects.
I will
really good.
Give the Howling credit because, like I said, at that point they were out of money, so they were just filming. That's why everything was kind of in the dark. And everything was filmed really close. Yeah, because they're like, look, we ain't got money to make a badass transformation like I guess we wanted to. Yeah. But they made it work. They made it work like wonderful.
They made that shit work, and that shit was dope to me because you literally had like nothing but like you saw the nostril, you saw the hands. I mean, you didn't see the feet, you didn't see the full body transformation like like you would have seen in American Werewolf. But sometimes you don't need that, man. Give me the face, give me the hands, the extremities. That's kind of what I need, man. And then like the hair, and then dude was standing straight up, not in pain, ready to.
He was ready to transform.
He was ready. He was ready for. He was about that action. Yeah. And then he gets a random acid thrown into his face.
Literally random acid. Like,
And I'm just like,
who keeps a bottle of acid?
Who keeps acid in their fucking like office? Like, yo, I don't even think he was that type of doctor.
Yeah. Like, no, you're absolutely right.
Like he
was a psychiatrist. Like,
that's what I'm saying. He's a psychiatrist, not a fucking physician. Why is there a bottle of acid in? Why is there a jar?
Well, why is he giving people rabies shots too? Now that we think about it, oh well, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Sugar water at this point. I literally will say that all day. Like he takes it. Like who fucking keeps a thing of acid? Now, Karen, obviously, like I said, Karen, after Eddie finishes his transformation, Karen fucking splashes him with the acid, and she gets away. Pretty much at that point, you're pretty much looking at a scene where you pretty much get a scene where old boy's trying to get to them at the colony. Mm-hmm. He's on his way to try to help. Like Chris is on his way to try to get there, and he's like speeding there, and that's kind of where that. At the same time, back at the colony, they're hunting Karen down.
Yes.
Karen sees
she escapes from
Karen
Eddie.
gets in the car. Yeah, she escapes from Eddie, but gets in the car, and like the people at the colony knock on her fucking window.
Yeah, you're coming with us.
And you're coming with us.
Mm-hmm.
They take her to the barn, and that's where Marsha is. Mm-hmm. And like Marsha and all the other people in the colony are there. Mm-hmm. Now you're wondering why they call it a colony. It's literally a fucking werewolf.
A werewolf colony.
Yeah, werewolf colony. It's a whole fucking camp of the motherfuckers sitting there chilling.
Yeah.
Even the old motherfucker's a werewolf.
Yeah. And that's when Doc walks in, like, hey.
Yeah, like she's like, oh my god, and they're like, yeah, you're gonna be one of us or die trying.
Yeah.
And she's like, where's Bill? Did you kill him? And it's like, no, Bill's one of us.
Yeah.
And like Bill's chilling.
Yeah.
And one thing about Bill here is, if he would have just gotten laid,
yeah,
he would he'd probably be dead, but none of this would have happened. He probably wouldn't have gone outside.
Right, exactly.
Then again, I mean, now that I think about it, I take that back. I mean, he got attacked and then was seduced. That was a wrap. But beforehand, it shouldn't have It shouldn't have happened. Like it was like all he had. There's all that could have been avoided.
Right. Exactly.
Had man would have got something.
Yeah.
But obviously she was traumatized. That wasn't gonna happen, and he eventually got it, but not from who he needed to get it from.
Right.
But anyway, they're all in the shed. They're all in the barn. Sorry, they're all in the barn, and then the doctor shows up, and the Karen runs to the doctor, and the doctor looks at her like, "Nah, bitch."
Mushes her.
He just mushes. Yeah, no. And the doctor's one of them. Now, here's the crazy shit about this scene. This build so much more shit with it because like story building, because there was literally a mutiny between these. You had Marsha's group, or pretty much Marsha and the group felt like, hey, humans are our cattle.
Yeah.
We should not be domesticated. We can't live. You saying we should live among them? We shouldn't live among them. They are our food.
Yeah.
Like she's asserting her dominance, as it were. And there's nothing was wrong with that.
Right.
It's like it's because she's making sense. She's like, look.
And the doctor's like, if they find us, we're dead.
Yeah, and the doctor's also making sense.
Yeah,
like, look,
it's like, look, we gotta evolve. Essentially,
we're stuck in our ways.
Yeah, times are different. Yeah,
times are different. We need to evolve, or we're gonna die. Mm-hmm. Y'all trying to do all this He-Man shit, and none of that shit's gonna work out for us in the long run.
Yeah.
So I don't know why you think this shit's gonna work, but the doctor's trying to make sense of it all, and everybody's like, yeah, no, fuck that. Marsha's got the right idea. Mm-hmm. So Marsha. The doc sits there and tries to defend himself, but he gets a gun to the gut.
And then Marsha slashes his face.
And Marsha slashes his face. Mm-hmm. And he's pretty much almost out of commission at this point.
Yeah.
And now obviously Karen is like freaking out, but then we panned back over to Chris, who arrives at the doctor's office. Sees the doctor's office. Sees the blood and the carnage, and this is when Eddie pops up.
This is a great effect too. Like
this is also the effects in this movie fan-fucking-tastic. Yeah. For as low and broke as they say they were, they fucking tricked that shit off. Eddie comes in, and half of his fucking face is missing.
Yes, it's like skeleton.
You see skeleton, and he is kudos to the fucking actor. He walks into that fucking room. He's pretty much like. And what Chris looks at him and says, like, Eddie? And Eddie looks at him and says, you know me, but I don't know you.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
Right.
And I'm just like, yo, this kind of slaps because I really wish Eddie didn't get the comeuppance, but he did because he was a really good character, all things considered for the all but 10 minutes we got a screen time of him. But he comes in all big wolf bravado, doesn't turn into a werewolf yet. He's pretty much waxing poetic back to Chris, and Chris is like has his gun. Chris actually gets his gun taken.
Yeah, because he snatches his gun.
Yeah, Eddie takes his gun and like just with the macho bravado and says like and just holds on to his gun and shit as he's waxing poetic against them. And one of the things he says is like, what happened to Terry? And the Terry fucking actually was recording everything, and the recording is playing. Mm-hmm. And Chris hears this, and you hear fucking Terry being murdered. And that is when we get that Eddie is the one who murdered her. As he's saying, like, yeah, this is my favorite part. Like, he's literally...
that's when you hear her scream and stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, he's creepy Keith Sweat. Like, just the way he's delivering the line. He's, like, just trying to, like, he's delivering that line and shit. And it was just, like, you can see it, and he's just like, hey, man... And he's like, here. He gives Chris
the gun
back. Yeah. In which case, I'm like, that is the stupidest fucking thing you could do. But I understand why you did it.
He's like, I'm a werewolf. This shit ain't gonna phase me.
He's like, yo, I'm fucking invincible.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, go ahead. Take your best shot.
He's like, go for it, man.
I'm like, go ahead. Like, here, consider it a gift.
Yeah, that's what he says.
As he fucking, and he's like, but... yeah, consider it a gift. And you gotta try your best shot. And Eddie starts to transform.
Yeah, because he's like, you don't know anything. Here.
He's like, you don't know anything. And just gives him again, just like, go ahead.
Yeah.
And he fucking starts to transform. And Chris is like, look at him like, all right.
Bet. Yeah, say less.
Say less. Fucking shoots him. Mm. And Eddie fucking dies. And Eddie's like, wait. Nani?
Yeah, he's like, nah.
And fucking, it fucking just like fucking goes like, wait, what? And fucking just dies.
Yeah. He
like,
just died, yeah.
You know what that scene reminds me of? Remember fucking Dogma?
Yeah.
And Jason Lee. Jason Lee.
Is
it Jason Lee? It is Jason Lee.
It is Jason Lee. Okay, cool, yeah.
Like he's sitting there and says, he's sitting there going like, I'm a fucking demon. And he fucking just dies. Yeah. That's exactly what happened there because they made the exact same face. They was like doing the exact same face. It's like, man, hold up. And just end up dying. And I was like, yo, that's when I was kind of bummed that he didn't make it throughout this movie.
Yeah, I was when I watched it, I'm like, well, he's got to come back, right? He just doesn't die like that, does he?
Man, I mean, you wouldn't have. I would have hoped. And it's Jason Lee. I looked it up.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, that dude was so good.
Yeah, he was.
He was good. Like, for the role, he didn't get enough screen time.
No,
Watching this again, I really wish he had more screen time.
Yeah.
Like, if the Howling didn't have... You know what? I'm going to cover that towards the end, because we'll get towards the end of this. We're almost done with the movie here.
Right.
Because the Howling has a couple of iconic scenes. With, obviously, their transformation scene. But then Chris makes his way... to the farm. Chris makes his way to the farm where everybody's at, and they're like, they're giving him the same energy that Eddie gave him, because they're like, dude, you're not going to be able to kill us with that gun. And what was it? TC runs up on him, and he fucking gets shot.
Yeah.
And they're like, they walk over to him, look at him like, wait. He's not getting up.
Yeah, get up, TZ. They literally like, get up, TZ, and they're like,
he's dead. He is on the ground, not moving, and they're like, wait.
He's like, silver bullets, asshole. Let's fucking go.
And he's like, yeah. And they're like, you son of a bitch.
And one dude's like, he ain't got no silver.
He ain't got no fucking silver bullets. Fuck you. And he walks up and he gets fucking plugged, or he tries to shoot him.
Yeah.
And he gets fucking plugged, and he's like, he gets shot in the stomach. Now I thought this was the weirdest thing because he didn't get shot anywhere that would have been instant death.
Yeah.
But the only thing I can give it in this defense is the homie got shot, looks at it, feels it. He's like, wait, fuck. And he just dropped. He's like, oh shit, it is silver. And he fucking just dies. And then the rest of them are like, oh fuck. Now, looking at this, that would have been 5-on-1, and he just had a rifle.
Yeah, it's not like this motherfucker had two guns or like a AK.
Yeah, like something like that. And it was like, you still had him outnumbered.
Yeah.
And
like rush him.
Like you could have you were fucking werewolves. You could have rushed him. But they didn't turn or anything. They were still people.
Yeah.
And they were kind of like, yeah, I don't want to die.
Yeah, because at that point, like, oh shit, we can die.
Like, oh fuck, he can really kill us. All right, fuck. They kind of took him seriously. Obviously, the doc fucking comes up and he's like, it's real. Telling the people that it was real fucking stuff. Like, it's real. And he's like walking toward, like, he pushes Karen back and he's walking towards Chris, and Chris and the doc are also connected. So you're like, hey man, I don't want to shoot you. Please back up. And real shit, Chris was about that action. Chris told him once.
He told him when he wasn't no bullshit, like, please, don't do this.
No, he was like, don't do this. Don't make me do this. Don't make me. No, Chris was like, hey, man, I'm warning you. Stay back. Doctor kept walking. Bam, got plugged in the side. Doctor looked at that shit and was like, thank God.
Yeah,
and
he was like,
just
fuck
drops,
it, finally. Like,
and just drops dead. And
like, he was ready to go.
Oh, yeah, he was ready to go
shit.
because he knew he was going to get... Look, if he didn't get killed by Chris, he was definitely going to get killed by the fucking pack.
Yeah.
That was definitely going to happen. So he drops dead, and the wolves... And the pack were looking at him like, oh, fuck, okay. So the numbers are dwindling, and they're getting backed up into the barn, where Chris is forcing them into the barn. Karen locks the gate. Actually, I take that back. They close the doors behind the barn, and the werewolves, in what I can only assume is probably some of the dumbest shit that I've seen. Like, if you were werewolves, and they're turning, mind you, when they're closing on this the barn door, they are turning into werewolves, like slowly. You don't see them transform, but you see their hands kind of turn into wolf hands. So, which it probably makes sense of why this movie didn't have a lot of money, because you couldn't do a lot of that shit. Right. They close the door. They put one of the hunter's rifles in the door to lock it, and Chris grabs a thing of gasoline they found outside that they plan to burn. Karen's body with.
Yeah.
And they started sprinkling on the outside, and they set the barn on fire. Obviously, that was one of the ways they can kill the wolves. Some of the wolves actually die in the fire, but like I want to say maybe 3 of them survive.
Yes.
3 or 4 of them survive. And Chris and Karen fucking make their great escape, only to be stopped. Karen notices that one of the police officers, which is Sam, is out. Like, she's like, wait, stop, it's Sam. And thinking that Sam's going to help him. And that's why I'm like, you need to stop being gullible. Motherfuckers are not coming to help you.
Yeah,
They're all in it together. And you see Sam with his wolf teeth showing, and he's got his rifle shooting at the car. And Chris gets out the car and starts shooting back.
Yeah.
Kills Sam, but Sam kills the car. And Karen and
blows that some bitch up.
Yeah, Karen and Chris leave. Karen and Chris leave, and they get into like Sam's police car. They get it started, and they fucking start driving off. But meanwhile, you see like the fucking wolves are like chasing them, and they fucking get to the car and they fuck them up. They're trying to drive. Chris takes out, I believe, 1 or 2.
Yeah, he takes out a couple.
And one of them is Bill.
One dives in, and that's the one that bites Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one dives in and bites Karen, and that's fucking Bill.
Yeah, they kill him, and he reverts.
Yeah, and she's like, oh my God, because you see, like, Bill has a fucking, a tattoo that he has, and he's fucking, like, dead in the back seat. So Karen gets bitten at this point. So Karen and Chris are driving back, and they're sitting there saying, hey, we got to tell people.
Yeah, we got to warn them about this shit.
We got to warn them. Like, people got to know.
Yeah.
And that is when you get probably one of the iconic scenes in horror where Karen is back at the news, back at the office, getting ready to do the news. She hasn't been on the news in a minute. They welcome her back, and she's getting like a little segment. Shouldn't have taken nothing more like maybe 5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes or whatever. But she goes out and does her own thing, and she tells Chris, is like, look, I need you to do this for me. And Chris is like, I don't feel comfortable. It's like, yo, you got to do it. I was like, okay. Chris begrudgingly said yes. Once the camera started rolling on her, she's talking, she's reading. She's not reading the teleprompter, which they started noticing. It's like, hey, she's not reading the prompter. What's going on here? Did we edit this? And it's like, yeah, no, maybe we should just, like, it shouldn't, what is this? Like, shouldn't have been, like, the douchebag fucking producer's like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, he's like, cut this woman off. He's like, the other guy, he's like, no,
let it fucking play. And like, that's Chris saying, it's like, let it play, let it fucking go. And Karen at this point is pretty much saying that, hey, we are all animals on the inside, but there's something I got to show you, and what you're about to see is something else. She starts, as soon as the camera pans back up, look into her eyes, and her eyes start glowing gold. Which is funny to me because when the camera pans up, they start going gold. Like she starts howling, and starts transforming into a werewolf live on television. Mind you, this is a newscast. This newscast is a huge one.
Yeah, because everyone recognizes her. Like, hey, you're famous.
Yeah, she's a famous woman.
Yeah,
and she has everything going off. And it's like she's transformed into probably like the most non-threatening werewolf I've seen.
Yeah, she looked like a damn Yorkie. She looked like she was turning into a goddamn Yorkie.
She looked like a goddamn puppy.
Yeah.
Also, like either that or fucking Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Like,
Just
no,
like,
really. Like a fucking like a fucking Wookiee. Like that's what she looks like, and like she's looking like she's in pain. And I said it was funny because of the eyes, because her eyes turned back blue.
Yeah.
As she's like doing this, and she's looking at, and then Chris has the gun and silver bullets, shoots her, and he kills her on live television.
Yeah.
And that's when they cut the feed. But people have seen it. They either believe it or they don't.
Yeah.
And that's when you get the ending scene of the bar, and the people who are talking about it saying, "Hey, I don't believe this." But hey, it just happened on TV, so you can sit here and not believe it, but that don't make it believe that it didn't happen. So they tried, some people believe it, some people don't, but the camera pans over. One guy's like, "Hey, let me get a pepper steak and a hamburger for a lady, or a hamburger for my friend here." And pretty much they say, "Hey, how do you like that hamburger?" She looks, and of course it's Marcia sitting there going like, "Raw." Rare. And then the movie ends with the burger being cooked on the screen.
Which, random fact, that was a badly prepared burger, and it came apart when they tried to.
Yep.
That's literally one of the trivia. That shit just made me laugh. That's like, goddamn, like what chef came onto IMDb to talk shit?
It's
like,
hey,
look
man,
at this shit hamburger.
Like, look at this bad fucking burger. Like, who the fuck would do some shit like this? Well, guys, that was the Howling, man. So now we need to I guess rate the villain in this. So, actually, Jose, I'm going to throw it back on you because I think you know who my villain might be. Who do you think is the villain in this? Because there's a lot. There's multiple.
There is a colony worth of villains in this place. And, shit. If we want to be technical, the villain is Eddie.
Yeah.
Eddie Quist.
Yeah, so, all right, fuck it. We'll tackle Eddie because he's one of the main focal points. Yeah. How is his motive?
He just wants to kill people.
He's a fucking serial killer. Yeah. There's no motive. His look or his drip?
He's cool as a werewolf.
That's what I mean. Like, there's because you don't see him enough.
Yeah, in his werewolf form.
But in his werewolf form and the form after the fact, superb. Yeah. Chef's kiss.
Yeah, especially when he was half his face is gone.
That shit was amazing. Like that right there was like
that was a great. Yeah,
I really, and his threat level.
Yeah, he's super threatening.
Oh, you have
like I said, he never even thought that this fool had silver bullets. Like he gave him his gun back to talk shit. That's how threatening he was.
Well, and it's crazy. Like, yeah, you know what? No, his threat level was high.
Yeah, because
this dude was a creeper. Like, the dude was like super creepy.
Yeah.
And even though he wasn't killing, he didn't probably gathered up the most kills in this movie. All like with the murders before, and then probably adding Terry afterwards. But like, he did what he did, and it was like I mean, I'm definitely inviting him.
Yeah.
To the hall, not to the hall of villains, but just like I'm inviting.
No, he's in the building.
Yeah, he's in the building. I'm bringing him in the building.
Into the hall of
I'm putting him in. I'm bringing him to the building.
Yeah.
Does he get enough at the table? If he had more screen time,
yes,
I think he probably would have been one of the better horror villains.
Yeah, I don't think I can let him sit at the table.
No. He can get in, enjoy a couple of drinks, and then
and receive the benefits.
Yeah, receive the benefits, but you're not going to the fucking. You're not getting VIP.
Yeah, no, those are the big wigs. Yeah, you're not a big wig.
Yeah,
sorry.
Nah, not at all.
Yeah, if he'd had more screen time, he definitely.
This was criminal. Just because watching this again and watching because of how we do this show, he deserved more screen time.
Absolutely.
Marcia got more screen time, and she was decent. Yeah, but she didn't do as much.
Right. She
Like
just
I feel, you know what?
people with their eyes.
That's pretty
until
much
she
it.
finally fucked them.
That's exactly what it was, man. Real
Yeah.
shit. Like I'm gonna say this. This movie would have been a fuck tons better had it only focused on Eddie and tracking him down. And now we got like what? How many Howling sequels?
Like enough? 7,
we got,
I think.
we got a lot of fucking Howling.
I think
sequels.
7, honestly.
If I were to redo this movie, I would make this movie about Eddie being a serial killer werewolf, and you were hunting him, but he's like you think he's dead, but he's not dead, and he's like you're hunting him, and he's like but he's stalking.
Yeah.
He's stalking Karen.
Yeah.
The colony still gets introduced, but doesn't come around, and you don't know they're just people, regular people, and everything. Because that's Eddie's, like you can say, it's Eddie's hometown.
Yeah.
You can introduce his sister, but the plot, because I feel as though like there was too many plot points here. Like you had Eddie being a serial killer, which was the main one, the main reason of this whole movie.
Right.
The second part of that was like you had the colony, which would have been a whole better second movie had you would have been like, hey.
Yeah.
Eddie's
explore
sister.
Explore the colony.
Yeah, just like explore the colony and just go from there.
Which technically, isn't that what part 2's about?
I want to say yes, but
It's
like,
a different actress. I know that.
yeah, it's a whole different. But like, we're not even gonna. I wouldn't even talk about part 2
I heard
like
part
that.
2 is fucking bananas.
Yeah.
I heard that shit is random as fuck.
Yeah, I heard the same shit. I'm not watching any of the because after the first Howling, the rest of the Howling movies are like I'm good on.
Yeah.
But this movie could have been. The first movie would have been about Eddie and him being a serial killer werewolf, and the second one could have been about the colony. And you literally could have ended the same way.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to get away from, just trying to get away to suffer from the trauma of the first movie.
Yeah.
And they go to the colony, and they don't know that Eddie's sister. They don't know that woman is Eddie's sister or has anything to do with Eddie.
Exactly.
And you're just like, oh shit, and that's when the shit kind of gets missing. And then you can make that would have been perfect to me. This movie was 2 things in one, but it has enough good going for it to outweigh the bad.
Yeah.
So I mean, in this point, like I give like Marsha being the villain in this, she doesn't do enough, but I get it.
Yeah.
Because she was willing, like she was a bad bitch. Let's get that. Let's get that for her. Like he's like if she had the villains in this movie didn't get enough screen time. I'll just say that.
Right.
Right there. I'll just end that.
I agree.
They did not get enough screen time because you were like, okay, there goes Eddie. And when Eddie fucking was on the screen, it was great. He was fucking great.
Absolutely.
When Marsha was on the screen, she was also good, but like she really wasn't doing anything.
No.
Other than like being super seducey, which I'm like, I feel as though she has more going for her, like as an alpha fucking female.
Yeah.
In that character. I personally would have liked that to happen. Now, granted, yes, Howling 2 was supposed to be focused on that and her alpha mentality, but
yeah.
if I were to redo the fucking Howling, that is how I just like, look, Hollywood, if you're if you listen to this like maybe 6 years in the future and like I'm going big, I have a fucking Howling idea. I want to redo the Howling. Give me a shot. Give me a shot.
There you go. Give him a shot. Give him a shot. Goddammit.
That's what I want to do. That is how I will fucking.
I would ride this man's coattails into wealth.
Hey man, straight up, like that is how I would do this movie. Like that's legitimately how I see this shit. Like I want to say, man, I kind of want to give him a fucking like out of 1 through 5. I want to give him an incomplete.
Oh, Eddie. Yeah, maybe.
I want to give him an incomplete only because you only got like 10. We only got like what? He only got.
You really get one scene at the end with them.
You get one scene,
like a quick,
the opening scene, and then the one scene, and then the 2 scenes. Actually, you get the one because you can sit there and say that wolf
the reveal.
Yeah, you can sit there and say the reveal and then his death. So, like come on, man. Like I want to give him an incomplete.
Yeah.
If he was in this movie a little longer, I think I would have given. He probably would have got a 5 or a 4 from me, only because of just how creepy he fucking was. Like you just like fucking just cooter vibes.
Right.
Like 100%.
Exactly.
Shout out to Straight Chillin'.
Yeah, shout out to him. Or they try to charge us $10,000.
I know, right? Please, real quick.
Please don't.
Right.
Please don't.
Soldiers, please.
But no, yeah. Like, see, for me, I'd probably give him a 3, and a lot of people be like, "Damn, that's a knock. That ain't too high." But like, it's just screen time.
You know
Fuck
what?
them.
3 and an asterisk.
Yeah, 3.5.
I'll give him a 3 and an asterisk because like I want to give him incomplete, but
Yeah.
like I gotta grade him. Incompletions are not really a real grade.
Right.
You'd have to come back. That means you have to come back to, but there's nothing to come back to in this because he's fucking dead. So I give him a 3 and I give him a 3 and an asterisk. I just with an asterisk.
Yeah.
Because that's it. Like you fucking. That's it, man. You really killed that dude off, and he could have. You had something special.
And like, he dies just quick as shit.
Yeah, he realistically kills. Outside of what? He's killed maybe 1, 2, 3. I'm thinking about the news photos. I'm going to say probably like 6 people. Maybe probably more than that.
Yeah.
Because it's this
Probably
trend of
way
murder.
more than that, yeah.
It's been a trend of murders, and yet you didn't cover any of that, man. Right. I would give him higher, but like, yeah, I'll leave him with a 3, but he wouldn't get any higher than that. If he had more screen time, he'd definitely get more higher than a 3. I'll say, I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that. Well, man, shit, that's all I got for the Howling, brother. How about you?
Yeah, that's same thing. It's a solid movie. Go check it out. Please check it out.
It's not streaming anywhere. It occasionally can pop up on Shudder.
Yeah, it pops up on Shudder every once in a while.
It's on Amazon Prime Video, but I believe that it is on.
Yeah, you gotta rent it.
Amazon.
I think you gotta rent it.
Yeah, I think you have to. Let me see. Streaming. It is. You got to rent it for like $3.99, and iTunes is selling it selling it for free. But iTunes is selling it for $14.99. Excuse me. But yeah, this movie is worth watching if you like werewolves. This is a perfect spooky season movie. But yeah, this is like, I mean, outside of the horny that this movie fucking has, the uncontrollable horniness, this movie is pretty legit. Yeah. And probably still one of my favorite werewolf movies.
Yeah, no, it's a solid werewolf movie. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. All right, man. We got any closing arguments, closing statements, anything you want to address?
No, not off the top of my head. Like I said, go see this movie. It's great. And yeah.
All right.
Well, good.
Well, guys, that continues this episode of Cinema Villains. Once again, I'm your host, Shaggy, and on behalf of Jose,
Shaggy.
Good night, man.
Jose.
Y'all or enjoy the rest of your
Shag,
day.
where can they find you?
They can find me in all the places. Twitter, well, not Facebook. They can find me on Twitter at Shaggy Black. You can find me on IG at ShaggyBlack_13. And Jose?
Find me on Twitter at dashing_Jose_. And on Instagram at what's my Instagram? Oh, super_villain_Jose. There you go. Please rate and subscribe to the podcast and all that good shit.
Subscribe, rate, rate, and subscribe. That's it.
All that good stuff. 5 stars. You can leave us a review. I will read it. I'm still promising that, guys.
Yes, sir. Well, guys, thank you, and y'all enjoy yourselves. Until next time.
Bye. Ow.
Question mark?